which we will think of fondly as we leave and move on to the next phase of our lives. When I agreed to give this commencement speech tonight, I approached it like any of you AP students approach a major research paper or other important assignment. So last night at midnight, I began by drinking 2 cans of Red Bull and stayed up most of the night writing this speech. While wondering what I could possibly say to connect and inspire the class of 2013 on this special day, I thought back to my high school commencement 43 years ago. And I thought it would be interesting and entertaining, perhaps even a little inspiring, to look at the experience of your grandparents, yes, I'm old enough to be your grandfather, and compare it to your high school lives today. Now let's take a look at test taking. We took tests 45 years ago when I was in school, and you take tests in school today. We cheated on tests in high school, and you cheated on tests in high school. When I was in high school, we were unsophisticated about cheating. We wrote answers on the palms of our hands or tried to sit next to the smartest person in the class and peek at their paper. Today, you have modern technology that enables you to save test answers on your cell phone as wallpaper. And some of you have never done a bit of original homework, but have benefited from someone sending you a picture of Alexa Lay's homework, and you copied it and handed it in as your own work. You know you did it, Joe. And Caleb, and Tyler, and Brittany, and Weston, and Gabby, and Connie. You know you all did it. You did it in my room. What about relationships? We had relationships, and you have had relationships. If I had a relationship I wanted to get out of, I had 2 strategies. 1, stop calling that girl and avoid her in the hallways as much as possible. Usually she'd get the message after a few days and I could stop hiding at lunchtime. But if she was a tenacious girl, and I like tenacious girls if you know what I mean, she would demand a face-to-face breakup. So if I had to confront her, I swore it was all my fault and she was perfect. It was me, not you. Me, not you. This did little to extinguish her anger, but it made me feel better, and that's what was important. Today, your generation has entire relationships through text messaging. You even have something called sexting, which I am not exactly sure what that is, but this is not the place to talk about it. What about gossiping? Modern technology allows you to tweet your friends whenever you want, but it leaves an electronic trail that your friends can read. In my day, we gossiped face-to-face behind our friends' back. And even if anyone told them about our comments, we could deny it because there was no proof. Cell phones have added great convenience to our lives. We can access our email whenever we want, post pictures on social media, and send cute pictures of ourselves to each other with short, chatty comments via Snapchat. But there is a big downside to that, and that is your mother never leaves you alone. You have to check in with her every hour if you're going to be late, or if you do not get home when you said you would, she is calling you. When I was your age, no one could ever find me if I did not want to be found. When I went off to college, I could go for a whole quarter without talking to my parents. We wrote letters back in those days and received monthly checks inside those letters. So if you don't want your mother to know everything you're doing at college, like partying instead of studying, unfriend her as soon as you get to school and make all your postings private. Everyone would be much happier if you take this advice. How about school dances? School dances in my day were pleasant activities that took place almost every weekend. We did dances like the mashed potato, the monkey, the dog, the frug, the holly golly, the pony, and the jerk. You remember, Mrs. Sherritt? Today you do a dance called twerking. And as far as I can figure out, it's a simulated sex act on the dance floor. What is wrong with you kids? And speaking about sex, let's look at sexual orientation. In my day, we had freshman orientation. But today we change our sexual orientation like we change our pants. In fact, I've changed my sexual orientation 2 times before I started this speech. Tonight is a happy night to celebrate your first major educational achievement. You have come a long way in just 4 years since you first entered the halls of Alameda High School. Today you are strong young men and women going off to fulfill your dreams. You AP students have burned the midnight oil and you are entering big name universities such as Stanford, Howard, Brown, Yale, Princeton, MIT, and Cal. You have worked hard, but there are high expectations from your family and friends to really change the world and be the next Steve Jobs or even Mr. Young Jew. But if you are, like I was at my graduation, sitting and wondering what comes next and where you're going to go to school, you're probably headed for community college, just as I was. But don't be discouraged or depressed. My message to you today is that your life is just starting. It does not matter that you are confused about the future, not living up to your potential, adrift in a sea of choices. What really matters is that you end up your life. What really matters is where you end up your life, not where you begin, and what you do with your potential. Don't be intimidated by those classmates that took 6 APs and are headed off to some big name school. The pressure is on them. What matters is where you end up. I knew only one thing when I was sitting in my high school graduation, and that was I wanted to study the arts. Find something you love to do and let that love take you on an unpredictable journey. I ended up working as a teacher on a campus with Rhodes Scholars, MIT, Stanford, and Cal graduates. Together, we have made Alameda High School a school that produces leaders and artists, mathematicians and athletes. Your school. So, in conclusion, remember, don't cheat on tests. It's better to study. Be honest with your girlfriend. Gossip face to face behind your friend's back. Unfriend your mother. Be yourself. And learn to do some new acceptable dance moves. Enjoy your graduation night. You have earned it. Especially the award-winning cast and crew of All Shook Up. Good night and farewell, Alameda High School.